SmackDown present WWE Survivor Series.
Survivor Series 2002. This was a very highly requested video for a very long time. So here we are. We finally have Survivor Series 2002. So the year 2002 for the WWF/WWE can be really broken up into two different sections. You know, the first half was pretty good. WrestleMania 18 was successful. You know, the Royal Rumble in 2002 was good. You had a few different, good pay-per-views in the beginning of the year. But then when you get into the latter half, anywhere from maybe June to December of 2002, you just had some of the best content imaginable. Second half of 2002 is probably my favorite time period in WWE. You had No Mercy, which was great. You had Unforgiven, which was great. You had SummerSlam, which is one of my all-time favorite pay-per-views. And then, of course, you had Survivor Series, which almost felt like a climax to this great year of 2002, even after the name change. So, going into this pay-per-view, we had the new concept of the Elimination Chamber. And that's kind of the thing about this pay-per-view. There's no traditional Survivor Series matches. And it kind of takes a spin on that with still having three elimination matches. So I think that's interesting. You took away the 5-on-5 for this year. And then you kind of brought in more creative ways to integrate the elimination survival rule. So it was really cool. And starting things off, we had a very fun 6-man table match. And this was elimination. We had Jeff Hardy, Bubba Ray, and Spike Dudley. So no Devon, not yet. And then we had them facing 3-Minute Warning and Rico. So, this was a really fun, fast-paced match. You had tables, you had a lot of table action going on here, because there were table spots without eliminations even going on. You saw Jeff Hardy kind of do a repeat of the Royal Rumble 2000 table spot, which was pretty much the exact same spot, to be honest. But that was really cool. You have the infamous botch where Rico, he's standing on the top rope, waiting for Jeff to come shake the ropes, but Jeff is too late. So he's just kind of standing there, wobbling around like an idiot. That's funny to go back and watch. And then, of course, you had Devon come out and help Bubba Ray get the win here. So, you had the 3D to Rico for the win. And then Rico actually had a huge gash on his arm from the table spot, which I think Taz brought up in the next match. He's like, well, if you notice a huge blood stain on the mat. So, yeah, that was interesting. Because even watching, I'm just like, where the hell did the blood stain come from? Then we have Jamie Noble versus Billy Kidman in a fun cruiserweight title match. There were a lot of title changes on this pay-per-view. So, yeah, we had a title change here. We had Billy Kidman picking up the win here. Very fast-paced. It kind of felt like a WCW cruiserweight match, a little stance. But, really, really fun cruiserweight title match. We had a women's hardcore championship match. Trish Stratus versus Victoria. This was another really fun, fast-paced match. You have Victoria, she gets out the mirror. And I'm assuming the mirror was supposed to be the final spot of the match. But then Trish Stratus steps on it and breaks it. Because you can see Victoria look at the mirror. And she's like, well, shit. So she gets the fire extinguisher out. And actually, blinds Trish Stratus with the fire extinguisher. And actually pins her for the win. So 2 title matches. And then we have 2 title changes already. So, very fun women's championship match. It's not some mat wrestling masterpiece. It's a hardcore match, and it's very much a hardcore match. And then we have the Triple Threat Elimination WWE Tag Team Championship match. This served as the co-main event. And we had Edge and Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit versus Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero. SmackDown 6 right there. These 6 wrestlers, to me, were SmackDown at its finest. You know, this was nowhere near as good as the No Mercy tag team match, but this is still really good. You know, I'd say it's a solid 4 stars. We had Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit kind of thrown together, but I mean, they make sense as a tag team. You know, when you look at them, you're like, okay. But then when you realize the talent behind both of them, they make a really cohesive unit. And we actually had Los Guerreros picking up the win. So another title change because Edge and Rey Mysterio had come in as champions. So this was very fun, and also an elimination match. So, like I said, integrating that elimination style without having the traditional match sense. And so let's talk about the WWE Championship match. This is unfortunate because, you know, this kind of brought the pay-per-view down a little bit, and I'll explain that at the end. But, you know, you had Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. You know, he was always affiliated with Paul Heyman, facing the Big Show for the WWE Championship. And Brock had won the title from The Rock. He was the next big thing. And, you know, it seemed like there was no end in sight for him. And they were kind of teasing, kind of foreshadowing the Paul Heyman turn. So we had a very short match here. Pretty much just a dud of a match. Paul Heyman turning on Brock, and then Big Show getting the win here. And, you know, getting the WWE Championship. So, very interesting, but this really was a letdown. Like, this didn't really feel like a title match. But once again, we had another title change. So, you know, to me, this is really the only negative spot on this card, unfortunately. If not for this, let's say we had a really good WWE title match, probably give this pay-per-view an A+. But just for the fact that this just was stupid and disappointing, it just kind of brings it down for me a little bit. And then we get to your main event, the Elimination Chamber World Heavyweight Championship match. Chris Jericho was actually played out by Saliva, and Saliva was doing kind of live performances, and similar to WrestleMania 18 where there'd be a video package in the background, they give a live performance, but they were doing it from the Times Square WWF restaurant. So that was cool. This is back when music was good in wrestling. This is back when WWE had cool music for pay-per-views. It wasn't some goofy PG era shit that nobody wants to listen to, or some generic, like, just shit pop music, or just rap. Like WrestleMania 28, you have fucking Flo Rida. Like, yeah, that's what I want to listen to on WrestleMania. I came from the era when Limp Bizkit, you know, My Way for WrestleMania 17, or Crack Addict for WrestleMania 19. You know, WrestleMania 23, Ladies and Gentlemen, was a great theme. And this Survivor Series had a great theme. But yeah, they played Chris Jericho out, so that was really cool. And then, you know, you had this new concept of the Elimination Chamber, and it was very intriguing at the time. And I've actually come to very much hate Elimination Chamber matches, similar to how much I just hate Hell in a Cell matches now. They're PG, washed up garbage that have no meaning. You know, I don't like gimmick pay-per-views. I like that Elimination Chamber can happen anywhere at any time. I like that Hell in a Cell can happen anywhere, anytime, and really only used when it's important. This match felt important. This Elimination Chamber match felt like it had meaning. You know, you had Shawn Michaels, who had come back. You know, he had one match at SummerSlam. He'd gone over against Triple H. You know, he came back, cut his hair, put on his little poopy tights, and then, you know, a lot of people were really rooting for him in this match. It made sense. The only way this pay-per-view could have ended was Shawn Michaels winning the World Heavyweight Championship to really validate his return and make you say, wow, you know, this is HBK. Like, this is who I grew up with. This is a new era for Shawn Michaels' career. So, you know, you had great talent in this match. You had Triple H, Chris Jericho, Kane, Booker T, RVD, and Shawn Michaels. And, you know, even the poster just fits so well. This feels barbaric. It feels important. You know, you had RVD eliminated. You had Booker T eliminated next. You had Kane. And then your final three, Triple H, Chris Jericho, and Shawn Michaels. And then, of course, your final two, Triple H and Shawn Michaels again. And this was just, it was epic. You know, I may not be the biggest Shawn Michaels fan from a personal level, but in ring, he is phenomenal. He is an all-time great in terms of in-ring talent. So to see him win the title that night was perfect. It could not have ended any better for him, the crowd, and really anyone involved in WWE at the time. You know, this made for an epic moment. And, you know, pay-per-views just don't feel this good anymore, unfortunately. But when it comes to a letter grade, I'm going to give this pay-per-view an A. This is my favorite Survivor Series. This, to me, is the best Survivor Series. The only thing that stops me from giving it an A+ is the WWE title match. You know, I just can't give it any higher because of that, you know. But it's only one match, so everything else is entertaining. It's epic. It has meaning. Just, it's fun. This is back when pay-per-views were fun. And now they're just garbage. But I'm not going to get in any WWE rant tonight. But let me know your thoughts on this Survivor Series. Like I said, it's my favorite, and it's by far the best. For now, this has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.